A solo operator can lose an entire high-energy morning to one unresolved choice: which project to start, which client request to accept, which tool to replace, which opportunity to decline. The visible consequence is not just a late task. It is 5 open tabs, 3 half-written notes, a calendar that keeps slipping, and the same question returning after every interruption. The one-card decision dock turns that loose debate into a structured decision framework with a physical or digital card, 3 criteria gates, 3 option tiles, 1 protected cost, and a review notch. The diagnostic question is simple. What would I need to see to choose this without reopening it? The output is not perfect certainty. It is a one-card commitment that tells you what matters, what wins, what gets protected, and what you will learn before the next similar decision. Decision fatigue persists because solo work hides the cost of comparison. A team meeting makes delay visible. A solo operator can keep researching while feeling productive. The common fix is to make a larger list, gather more examples, or wait for a stronger feeling. That approach treats uncertainty as an information shortage when the real cause is often an undefined stopping condition. Without a stopping condition, every new option reopens the whole decision. What you lose is not only time. You lose the clean starting edge that creative work needs. A half-chosen project pulls attention from the project already in front of you, and a half-declined opportunity keeps asking for emotional rent. The one-card decision dock applies when a choice changes what you will do next, what you will ignore, or who will depend on you. It does not belong on tiny preferences, emergencies that require immediate action, or high-consequence decisions that need professional advice or stakeholder review. Its logic is containment. First, the decision is docked on one card so it cannot expand across your entire workspace. Second, criteria are written before options are judged, so attractive details cannot quietly rewrite the goal. Third, the chosen option receives a commitment mark and a review notch, because the point is not to feel certain. It is to make the next action inspectable. The framework controls project selection, collaboration choices, purchase decisions for the business, schedule trade-offs, and experiments that compete for the same limited attention. The first rule is dock before depth. If the decision could take more than 20 minutes, redirect more than half a day, or create a promise to another person, it goes onto the card before more research happens. The first visible component is the trigger, the exact choice trying to claim attention. The second is the cost of delay, written as the work that will not happen if the choice stays open. Then come 3 criteria gates. A gate must be observable, fits the current production window, uses assets already available, preserves the main client deadline. This works because it moves judgment from mood to conditions. It fails when the criteria are wishes, such as exciting, impressive, or could be big. The outcome is a smaller comparison surface. The second rule is 3 option tiles, then stop. Place no more than 3 real options on the card: the obvious choice, the attractive alternative, and the smallest viable test. Each option is checked against the 3 gates, not against every possible future. At the midpoint, audit the card. If the gates are not visible constraints, if a 4th option has slipped in, or if the protected cost is blank, comparison has started too early. The protected cost is the resource this decision must not consume: a delivery day, a cash reserve, a recovery evening, a relationship, or a creative block. The rule works by making the trade-off explicit. It fails when every option is edited until it looks equally safe. The decision changes from which option sounds best to which option clears the gates while preserving the named cost. A newsletter writer has 4 free hours on Friday and 3 possible projects: outline a paid mini course, build a sponsor page, or publish a reader survey. The decision dock trigger is project selection for Friday. The delay cost is a missed publishing window. The gates are simple. Can produce a visible asset in 4 hours, uses existing material, and supports revenue within the current month. The protected cost is the next morning reserved for client edits. The mini course fails the 4-hour gate. The sponsor page clears all 3 gates. The survey clears 2, but does not create a revenue asset yet. The decision is to build the sponsor page using existing audience notes and a simple media kit draft. The trade-off is postponing the more exciting course idea. The output is inspectable. 1 finished sponsor page draft. The review notch records that revenue proximity mattered more than novelty for this kind of Friday decision. The third rule is commit to the smallest irreversible edge. Solo operators often treat reversible and high-consequence decisions as if they require the same weight. They do not. A reversible choice should produce a short action that teaches you something. A high-consequence choice should either get more review or be reduced into a test. This rule works because it separates action from exposure. It fails when the test is so small that it cannot teach, or so large that it is no longer a test. The meaningful trade-off is speed versus completeness. The decision dock chooses speed only when the protected cost remains safe and the review notch will capture a real lesson. Generic advice cannot resolve that trade-off because it does not name what must be protected. A solo operations consultant is invited to co-create a paid workshop with a larger firm. The visible constraint is a 2-week client implementation already scheduled. The dock trigger is whether to accept the collaboration. The gates are no live delivery before the implementation closes, clear ownership of reusable material, and 1 decision maker on the partner side. The protected cost is the consultant's delivery margin for the existing client. The first plan fails when the partner asks for 3 planning calls and a custom deck before terms are clear. Instead of accepting or rejecting completely, the consultant chooses a smaller test, a 90-minute paid diagnostic session with 1 outline page afterward. The action exposes the real friction. The partner still wants multiple approvers. The result is a polite decline. The review notch changes the next collaboration card. Decision maker clarity becomes the first gate, not the third. The takeaway is that a disrupted plan still produces value when the learning loop updates the next filter. The most common misuse is decorating the card instead of deciding with it. If the card becomes a notebook page, the decision has escaped containment. Cut it back to 3 gates and 3 tiles. The second failure is choosing criteria after a favorite option appears. When that happens, reset the card and answer the diagnostic question again. What would I need to see to choose this without reopening it? The third failure is protecting nothing. A decision with no protected cost will quietly spend whatever is weakest that week. The fourth failure is using the framework to avoid a hard conversation. If another person owns the constraint, the next action is not more comparison. It is asking for the missing condition. The card should expose ambiguity, not hide from it. The opening tension resolves when the morning no longer belongs to a reopened choice. Keep 4 operating takeaways. First, dock any decision that can consume 20 minutes, half a day, or a promise to another person. Second, write the gates before judging the options. Third, compare only 3 tiles: obvious, attractive, and smallest test. Fourth, protect 1 cost in plain view, because that is where overwhelm usually enters. After action, use the review notch to record what the decision taught, not whether you felt perfectly certain. The next similar choice begins with that correction already built in. The final test is the same question that started the process: what would I need to see to choose this without reopening it? When the answer fits on 1 card, the decision is ready to become work.